discount to be sold. If wind and solar really was the cheapest form of energy, it wouldn't need subsidies either. But the only reason we have wind and solar...
What happens when people just spit words? I'll tell you in a minute. What happens when they don't really have an opinion and they just spit words for the outcomes that they want? You know what I mean?
Yes, the sun and the wind are free, but what's not free is the infrastructure to harness it, the transmission lines to get it where it needs to be, and the firming required for the times when the wind doesn't shine and the sun doesn't shine and the wind doesn't blow. Likewise, Bowen's statement. He says Australia has the best wind and sun. The best. Really?
We do.
He reckons our sun's better than Morocco's?
No. What he means by is we've got a lot of land that can get a lot of sun. And we've got a lot of land that's just sitting there than what other countries have. You know what I mean, Emma?
Yeah.
They got forests and other things. They got to chop down things. See? But her perspective is what she's about to blab. Isn't that sad? Right? Instead of the truth. They're about to blab a perspective and hope that you listen to them because they're getting donations from somewhere else while they got these perspectives. True? Because they're not allowed to blab their perspective. They're meant to blab what you believe is true and it's your perspective. But what he was saying was true. Wasn't he, Emma? About what he said. That we got plenty of wind around in certain areas, right? And there are areas where we don't even have people, right? They're best spots to start off with, right? You can decorate them and all sorts of things. And you don't need as much wind turbines as you think. There's other things we can go about, including mirror reflection, right? As we have plenty of sun, right? So let's just chuck on for a minute.
Better than Scotland? Our gas and coal is certainly better. Our uranium is plentiful, but our...
Well, I just answered that, didn't I, Emma? Better than Scotland? Well, Scotland doesn't have a big desert, does it, Emma? And Scotland's in a part of the world where it doesn't get so much UV. See, we're sort of in the middle, near the equator. So we get lots of UV. It's not just, oh, look, it's sunny outside. Did you know that, Emma?
Yeah, UV.
Yeah, it's how powerful is that sun. Yeah. But anyway, let's go back about the hydrogen.
Net zero agenda, and if you accept lowering emissions without the use...
Let's see if we can find it. Back. He's on.
...hurt key industries like agriculture. As Bowen wrote today...
Everything is hurt agriculture. You know what's hurt agriculture the most? The things we've used. It definitely wouldn't be anything green, I can tell you that. And everything has wasted money. And it's stupid to think that you didn't whinge about it then, but you want to whinge about it now because your perspective changed, right? These people said one thing a few years back. Go check it out what they said. They like to bring up what politicians have said. Check out what they have said and what they didn't say, but they're saying it now. You know what I mean? That's what I've been saying about a lot of people these days. But let's get back to the hydrogen, right? And hydrogen, once you get it right and spent the money, right, like changing things, you'll be fine. It makes its money and it's viable if you've got other areas like free energy, right? It makes it even more profitable, right? And definitely if you don't have to maintain the free energy with more buildings and more problems like we can get when it comes to the battery systems and stuff like that. You got to always test things and then you find out how much it costs in maintenance and what problems and can we fix these problems and getting better things from better countries, you know, when it comes to materials and products, right? All adds up because sometimes something could be right, but you got the wrong products and they didn't last long and you spent too much money and then it doesn't look viable and right, Emma? But then it would have been right if the products were good and you got a good deal. Yeah. They try to make it look bad and then they can pop out their perspective. It is shocking.
Backed by the experts. But this is wrong. The experts have merely explained the government's plan, saying that this is what's needed if you accept the whole net zero agenda and if you accept lowering emissions without the use of nuclear or gas.
It's got to go hard.
But they have certainly not.
It's a mission like going godly, right? Going righteous, right? It's not going to be easy. And don't go halfway and then give up. What does that mean? You waste your time in the end and money if you've spent it, Emma? Yeah. And that's what she's saying. She's telling us to stop and head off to another direction. Right? And we should have never done it. Right? I'm saying that areas have fucked up, but you certainly don't stop once you've invested so much and there's good probability that it can still work out. You just got to fix it and make it right this next time around, right? And we've got a lot of infrastructure already there. Wouldn't that be wise, Emma? What do you reckon? Yeah, same with me.
Endorsed it as the best way to get affordable and reliable energy. See the difference? And of course, no less.
Now, when it comes to rich people, like I've talked about when it comes to perspectives, you can't trust them. They literally back out on things hoping that you'll give up so they can come back and do it their way, right? And when it comes to these certain areas, government should prove that they should take over and make sure it's right, and not business people that can leave and you're working on them and hoping that they get it right when they don't. You'll be stuck in the same boat right up till now in the problems we're having when it comes to price rising and not having enough energy and so on, as they're breaking promises and overspent and gone bankrupt and all that kind of stuff in areas where it just needs to be right.
British Labor PM Tony Blair has just declared that running an energy system to achieve net zero is, he says, doomed to fail. Look at the mirage of green hydrogen. Billions and billions.
If you give up, what does that mean, Emma? It's doomed to fail. Yeah.
More money being spent on this absolute fantasy, but most of the private investors, well, they are walking away.
See ya.
Today, more jobs cut
Go.
in the forest, meaning the jig's up.
You know what?
The game's up.
Hopefully they put some money in and they're backing out Australia. We'll go, all right, we're going to keep going though. We're going to keep going. See.
On electric cars, Bowen claims it's not just the inner city greenies who support his plan.
And we won't need electric cars. And we won't really need batteries as well. But we could use them when it comes to the solar area. But if you go the other directions, like I said, reflection panels, I prefer to go to heat this steam system where you heat up and turn a turbine like any fuel, like our coal power plants work, right? You're best to go with a shitload of them out in the desert than solar panels, because the solar panels would need it's off and on kind of thing and needs batteries to work efficiently, right? And then batteries are very hard to make and causes a lot of issues to make them at this moment when it comes to the batteries, the way we make them, as there's a whole bunch of new different batteries that can still come out and be more viable in that area to reintroduce solar and batteries, right?
The top 3 suburbs in New South Wales benefiting from our electric vehicle discount.
If we get the hydro going, which I don't think I'll get back to it, so I'm just going to leave it here. If we get the hydro going, we'll have cars that are powered by hydro, and then we can supply the world and show that it works and be the first in. Wouldn't it be good for Australia to be the first at something, and what makes them great and what makes them proud again? You know, would hydrogen do that for you? I reckon it would for me. I'd be like, yeah, we got hydrogen, man. Wouldn't that be cool, Emma? Drips out water, we know it doesn't cough us in, and we've got plenty of power. We get it cheaply because we worked hard, but now we get it cheap. We don't have to run around with the oil bullshit anymore. And we cap our price of our energy with our vehicles and our delivery systems. Wouldn't that be proud to have, Emma? Yeah. Fucking oath. But if they give up, you know what we'll get? We'll get what we've always had recent last, 20 odd years at least. Losing what to be proud of here in Australia, we have to bring up Dawn Fraser or something again. Wouldn't that be sad, Emma? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But anyway, have a good one and see you later.